Continue with our Theology of the Body Mondays. And so far, we've talked about a lot of things. We talked about sexual desire, how in itself sexual desire is a good thing, but yet that it must be used for the sake of giving of oneself, of loving, and not to taking or using another. We talked about a little bit of the meaning of marriage, and a little bit of sex within marriage. And then lastly, we were talking about sex outside of marriage and why there's immorality there, and actually it's less or loving or really unloving to engage in such a thing. Moving on to kind of a different subject, another big subject that kind of has to do with sexuality that relates to theology of the body is the topic of homosexuality. And this is a really big subject, but we'll just kind of take it one step at a time and see how it relates to theology of the body. So the first question is, what is indeed homosexuality? So homosexuality is being attracted to one's own sex in a sexual way, right? We can all experience attraction to, or all men, attraction to other men insofar as like admiration or friendship, same women to women, right? But homosexuality has a specificity that there's an attraction to one's own sex, but in a sexual way. Now, in recent years, the church, especially here in the United States, has been using a lot of the term to refer to homosexuality of same-sex attraction or the experience of same-sex attraction. They even use kind of the shorthand SSA. And I think there's a wisdom in the church, at least here in the United States, of using this term, same-sex attraction, versus using the term homosexuality. Because the term homosexuality, I think, has a lot of things already attached to it. And maybe it's a more heavy-loaded word. It seems like as of late, the church in the United States tends to prefer this because it describes better and it gives clear terms to be able to speak or when we're communicating what we're talking about. So I'll probably be using that term as well, right? So the experience of same-sex attraction is a known fact. I'm confident that there's somebody that you love that experiences same-sex attraction. Perhaps even some of you have experienced it or currently experience it. And so what is it that the church teaches about same-sex attraction? It seems like the world often poses this kind of like false dichotomy, right? One either has to, if one experiences same-sex attraction, one has to kind of embrace this sort of like, gay pride. Like, if I experience same-sex attraction, like, this is who I am, this is my identity, the fact that I am attracted to people of my own sex, and I have to just really make it, my identity and just celebrate it because it is who I am. So this is kind of one side. Then it's just to be like another side, which is gay shame, right? No, like if you experience such an attraction, you ought to, just feel so shameful, and you ought to hide this and never talk to anybody about it, and something like that, right? And these two kind of opposites, these two extremes are not what, neither of those is what the church holds. Every single person is made in the image and likeness of God, and therefore every single person has great dignity. And no attraction that one may experience can change this at all. So if one experiences same-sex attraction, this does not change at all one's dignity. It's like if one experiences attraction to whatever, stealing cars, this does not change one's dignity. One is baptized, one is a beloved son or daughter of the Father, regardless of attractions that one experiences. And I think kind of related to this, it goes without saying, because of this fact, right, to mistreat somebody because of an attraction they experience, or to make fun of them because of an attraction they experience, whatever it is, whether it's kind of same-sex attraction or another attraction, again, to stealing cars or something else, it would be immoral. It would be immoral to poke fun of somebody who experienced an attraction that probably has no choice over the attraction they experience. Perhaps it's a great cross that they carry, right? So again, this does not change one's dignity, one being made in the image and likeness of God, and if one is baptized, one being a beloved son or daughter of God the Father. An attraction in itself can never be sinful, right? You can never offend God unless you make a choice of something, right? The will has to be involved And so that means that, an attraction itself, again, whether it's to one's own sex or something else, in itself, it's not sinful. We were talking earlier, right? One can be married, one can experience an attraction to somebody who's not their spouse. One can experience an attraction. That attraction does not offend God. It's just an attraction. There's usually no choice over it. Attractions, again, for the most part, involve no choice. I like cookies and cream ice cream. I'm not attracted to mint chocolate ice cream. I just don't like it. And it's just kind of happened. I didn't choose that, right? And so again, attractions can never offend God. What can offend God is choices. So in the similar, I was speaking about how one can be attracted to somebody who's not their spouse, and that does not offend God. It's just an experience. But if one were to choose to pursue that relationship and engage, let's say in sexual acts outside of the person with whom you're married, then that would indeed offend the Lord. That would be indeed sinful. So where is it that sin can come in regarding to same-sex attraction? Well, it is with choices, with actions, right? Just like sex outside of marriage or extramarital relations would be acts that are sinful because of the meaning of the sexual act that we've been kind of unpacking. So in a similar way, sexual acts that are homosexual in nature are acts that are sinful. So if one were to choose those acts and engage in those acts, then one would be offending God. And like in many other acts that are also sexual, even if they're whatever heterosexual in nature, that would be sinful. And so we're going to continue to unpack this more because there's more to say. But it's just so important that we kind of see this distinction, right? So an attraction itself is never sinful. It's only actions that can be sinful, choices, like many other sexual acts, whether it's before marriage or unfaithfulness to one's spouse, etc. Right? And just like I made to conclude, just for today, because as I said before, the experience of same-sex attraction does not change anything about one's dignity. One can actually grow in great holiness and intimacy with God. If one experiences this thing, this is not a hurdle or a block for somebody's holiness. If one experiences attraction to one's own sex, in fact, it's possible that it could become the means for a person of union with God, because it does entail a particular cross, just like other crosses that people may experience. Somebody who experienced addiction to alcohol, that attraction to alcohol could become the means of their sanctification, their means to union with God, as they live with such a draw towards alcohol per se. And so, or if one is completely tempted to be unfaithful to one's spouse, that temptation in living with that tension and choosing to be faithful to one's spouse, that can be the source or the means of holiness for a person. And so in a similar way, an attraction to one's own sex does not hinder one's possibility of great union with God, and in fact, it could become a means for union with God. And so there's more questions that arise from all this that we'll continue to unpack, but that's kind of a general introduction to same-sex attraction.